John Doolan, congratulations, home win, home clean sheet. It's back-to-back home victories now. It wasn't the prettiest game of football to watch, but how pleased are you with the outcome?
Very pleased. That's all you want to do is win games of football. That's what we set up. That's what we sort of coached this week. That's what we had in mind, that we wanted to go and win the game. And the thing about it is that, you know, the setup, they've done everything. They've started with a formation, they've changed the formation, they've changed personnel, they've put subs on, they've took subs off, and everything they threw at us. You know, the physicality side is we answer questions, and then everything else that they threw at us, the lads all answered all the questions there. And we've got a great squad, we've got a good squad, but you know, it's another win, and it's one that we're happy with the week's work that we've put in.
I know you spoke yourself, and Sean Worley spoke in advance of the game about confidence and belief in the group that's growing with an unbeaten run. How much have we seen that, particularly in the way you defended today?
Yeah, well, I've said that, you know, this run that we have been on, I've said that anyway. You know, I think if you look at last season to this season, there's a change of mentality. There's different characters in there that we brought in as well. But you can just see, you know, if we go in front, you made the stat, we would be fifth in the league if the game finished at half time. But unfortunately, it doesn't. So, you know, I said that to you, and you can just see the difference if someone does get an equaliser or goes in front. That, you know, we're still in the game, and we've got a mentality now that, you know, that takes us forward into keep playing the same way, keep trying to create the chances that you create and take them.
For the second week running, you've got a goal that we might need the dubious goals panel for. Ben Ward got the initial shot and then followed it up. Looked like it took a deflection. To score from a set piece against the division's best defence, how encouraging is that? Very
pleasing, very encouraging what you're saying. So, ball goes in the box, and I was alarmed. Not alarmed. I was so happy to see how much space he had, because I think at one point he's looking around him and he's thinking, shall he head it or shall I shoot? You know, side-footed. He side-footed straight to the keeper, and I'm not sure. I think whether it's come back off himself and gone in. I'm not too sure on that. So, but I'm saying it's Ben Ward's goal.
From that point on, there was more of an onus, I think, on Oldham to go and try and do something to get back in the game. How comfortable was it watching from the touchline as Mickey Mellon put players on and they tried to put the ball into the penalty area? Did you always feel quite confident you could keep that clean sheet?
I did, because the way the lads were defending. You know, you look at the instance in the first half, the ref sort of threshold was high, then it wasn't high. So, you know, that the ref's ref the game. You know, that's his prerogative, the way he went about it. So, unfortunately for us, Fallon Rawson gets a yellow card. So, we have to change our sort of way of thinking, because he's on thin ice, if you like. So, we had a chat about that sort of before half time, if you like, to put Donald in one and then put Conor O'Brien on. And I thought it worked quite well. And as I said, they changed a few things down in terms of personnel and then changed the shape. So the lads stood up to it. And I think even in the second half, we played some really good stuff. We got the ball out wide. Isaac Heath on one side, Conor O'Brien on the other side. I think maybe a bit more quality, a bit more care in the final third, because I know we've got the qualities. And lads getting on the end of them, it would have been great.
Is that what you'll want to add in the coming weeks and months, that killer instinct in the final third to make it more than 1-0 in situations?
Yeah, but
like
I think we've had it, Dan. So we've had it in the past games. I think we didn't have it last week against a different opposition and a style of play. We haven't had it today, but the pleasing thing is we've created the chances. We've got the ball in the areas where we're going to hurt teams. You know, Sean Worley was on his legs off. You know, same with Paddy Madden, put an unbelievable shift in. You know, you've got lads that can come off the bench. We've asked them to run through brick walls for us, and that's what they're doing. But they're playing, defending really, really well. You know, Ollie with his clean sheet, fantastic. He's made, you know, a couple of saves, if you like, from free kicks and what have you. But to play the way we're playing and to keep that momentum now going forward is great for us.
And you mentioned him in the context of the goal you scored, but how much does Ben Ward sum up what's good about what you've been doing today in the way that he's performed? It just looked like he gave absolutely everything.
He does, not just him. You know, you look at the back line, Faz gave everything in the first half. Devon Matthews gave everything since he come in. You know, you got some of these lads from under 21 football and non-league football. So, you know, for them to go and perform really, Isaac Sinclair in front, Coyley does an unbelievable job in terms of screening, winning first contacts and picking second balls up. You know, Conor Grant, you know, Joe Beres as well when he plays. You know, you've got everyone at Hendo makes a difference. So you've got all these players that is so pleasing because they give you so much and you want them to get rewarded in the final third. We haven't recent games in terms of, you know, the ones where we've scored 3 goals here and 3 goals there. But in terms of if the last 2 games, we've created the chances, but we've only managed to score 2 goals. We've got a point and we've got 3 points today.
That equals your longest unbeaten run as Accrington manager, which happened this time last year, weirdly enough. How keen are you to keep that going and go into the FA Cup and keep it rolling and book a place in round 3?
Well, we do, Dan. That's what we want. It's not about me. It's about us. It's about us collectively. You know, the team that goes out there, the squad, and the team that's around the place. You know, the unbelievable pitch that he's produced there. You know, and Wordy and Kai, you know, and Simon around the place. So it's a team effort on and off the field. We want to keep that going. It's not, as I said, it's not about me. It's about us winning games and getting away from this bottom end. And you know, we want to compete in the other end of the pitch and give our fans something even more to sing about.
And I guess with that little break for the FA Cup, it's the best possible way to go into that by winning another game and continuing that unbeaten run. It
is. You mentioned the FA Cup. The rewards are there. You know, so you know you've got Mansfield coming next week. That the fans will be in good voice like they were today. And then you never know. Last year, look at it. You know, we got Liverpool at Anfield. I mean, that's just a dream come true, isn't it? To go and put your wits against one of the best managers at the time. Won the league, didn't he, that season? So, you know, go to Anfield. It's just a dream for us, and we want them dreams to continue.